question is, why rock and roll? If it was not for sex, if it were not for drugs, there could not be any rock and roll.
Welcome back to another episode of the Why Rock and Roll Project. This is your spot for all reasons why we rock and roll, as if you need any at all. So I'm your host, Sarah. You can follow along with this project on Instagram. Please send me your answer. Tag hashtag #WhyRockandRoll at #WhyRockandRoll, spelled out A-N-D. Just find me, hit me up. I just want to keep projecting this energy out into the world. Why we rock, why we music, why we metal, why we music, really. So please, go ahead, send me your answers, and also it would be so rad if you would subscribe to this channel so you can stay up to date on all the grooviness. All right, now let's get into this episode. All right, guys, so this episode is actually answers collected from February of 2020. This show was February 29th, and the answers were collected at the Tusk, which is in South Philly. And the Tusk I had never been to. It's a really cool spot, a small dive. Venue itself is the upstairs, so a divey, small, intimate, and actually one of those spots where the band plays on the floor. So you're on the same plane with them, which is, pretty fun because you definitely feel a part of it then. I wanted to go to this show because Mach22 was playing. There were 3 bands playing that night. The reason I chose this show is because a friend years ago had told me about Mach22, and I kept not being able to make the shows of theirs I saw coming up, and I could make this one. So my friend had told me about them and said they're pretty rad, and they actually won a contest as a local band to open for Guns N' Roses. That's pretty cool. So I was like, okay, I want to check these guys out. First we had Marsha opening, they were rad. Then we had Wildstreet from New York City, they were wild. And then we had Mach22, and they were rockin' and groovin'. Fun fact, guys, this is the first show where the band, while performing, has answered my question because I was wearing my sign while they were playing. The drummer saw my sign and responded, and that was really cool. So you'll see that in here. So without further ado, enjoy this episode and keep rocking.
I say why not rock and roll? Yes. There you go. Why not? Rock and roll is life. It's our lifeline, baby. Do it.
Live for all endeavors.
It's the Magna Carta. That's the original.
It is the Magna Carta that drives.
Look it up. It's on the document.
It's the Magna Carta.
It's a fine print. It might be a footnote, but it's there. If you find it, you'll find it.
It is there.
You gotta know where to look. And to that I say,
Get out of here. No. Get out of here. Get out of here.
to that I say, why not?
Oh, it's gone.
The question is, why rock and roll? If it was not for sex, if it were not for drugs, there could not be any rock and roll. Thank you.